Welcome to the Daily English News program on Azərbaycan Televiziya. I'm Ilham. A ceremony dedicated to the accomplishments in sports in 2025 was held on December 26. President of the Republic of Azerbaijan, President of the National Olympic Committee, İlham attended the ceremony and delivered a speech at the event.
Əziz idmançılar, əziz dostlar, ənənəvi olaraq
Dwelling on the results of the year in the field of sports, President İlham said that the number of medals won by our athletes reached a record high. More than 2,000 medals, including about 600 gold medals, were won at international competitions. This once again demonstrates that the development of sports in Azerbaijan was progressing successfully, underlined the head of state. The development of sports in Azerbaijan is an integral component of state policy. Numerous state programs have been implemented and sports infrastructure has been built virtually from the ground and now meets the highest standards. All necessary conditions have been created for people to engage in sports across the regions. This year, the construction of 2 Olympic sports centers in Ganja and Yevlax was completed, bringing the total number of Olympic sports centers in the regions to 46, noted President İlham Əliyev. Noting that another important development was the selection of Baku as the sports capital of the world, the head of state added that this was a major recognition of Azerbaijan's achievements in the field of sports. The head of state congratulated athletes on the upcoming New Year holidays and the Day of Solidarity with World Azerbaijanis and wished them continued success and new victories. Then a ceremony was held to honor athletes and sports specialists for their contributions to the development of sports in Azerbaijan.
Kazakhstan has published an interim report on the investigation of the crash involving the Azerbaycan Airlines passenger plane.
The interim report notes that the investigation of the aviation accident involving the Azerbaycan Airlines passenger plane continues in accordance with Annex 13 to the Convention on International Civil Aviation. It was further noted that the investigation commission included authorized representatives from the Republic of Azerbaijan, the Russian Federation, and the Federative Republic of Brazil, as well as an observer from ICAO. In addition to this investigation, the investigative bodies of Azerbaijan, Kazakhstan, and Russia continue their own investigation into the criminal case in respect to the airplane crash. On February 4, 2025, in accordance with ICAO standards, a preliminary report was issued. The preliminary report included only factual data and lacked any analysis as well as outcomes. It was impossible to develop a final report including the results of the investigation in line with ICAO requirements on the eve of 1-year anniversary of the accident. Therefore, Kazakhstan published an interim report in line with ICAO standards. The interim report notes no evidence of an explosion found on the 3 oxygen cylinders submitted for testing. The aircraft damage was presumably caused by fragments from a warhead, but their origin could not be determined. It should be noted that the President of Russia in his statement said that this weapon belonged to the Russian Air Defense Forces. Kazakhstan is expected to publish a final report including the outcomes of the completed investigation. Unlike interim report, the final report must be more detailed, must include all factual data in respect to the investigation and the conclusions on the causes and or contributing factors of the accident, as well as flight safety recommendations in order to avoid similar accidents in the future.
A project has been implemented aimed at supporting efforts to reduce mine-related incidents and minimize their consequences. As part of the project, a list of individuals affected by mines and exploded ordnance was compiled and a detailed analysis of their social needs was conducted. A total of 373 people were surveyed. In Azerbaijan, amendments are being made to the patent law. The draft law was discussed and approved in its first reading during a plenary session of the Milli Meclis. The goal is to clarify the procedure for aligning the patent system with international standards and to regulate relations between employees and authors. It was noted that the law updates terminology and broadly regulates international and Eurasian patents. Human cloning and the industrial use of embryos as patentable objects are prohibited. The great return to the territories liberated from occupation continues. On December 26, former internally displaced families returned to the villages of Hıdırlı in the Ağdam district, Seyitbeyli in the Xocalı district, and the settlement of Hatrut in Xocavənd district. At this stage, 64 families resettled in Hıdırlı, 11 in Seyitbeyli, and 13 in Hatrut. Upon returning to their native lands, the families were handed over the keys to their new homes. That was all for the day. Thank you for watching us. Stay well.